I hadn't switched it on, so I didn't even know what was going on. I hadn't switched my live on. Welcome to the Kids Chat Show, and welcome again and again and again and again. It's so nice to see you all. Thing is, we've had a rough year. We've had a really rough year in the West. It looks like in Africa, especially in Ghana, West Africa, life is normal. People are doing normal things. You see photos on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, and people are doing normal things. Over here in the West, we were not doing normal things. Unless you are double vaxxed. And even if you're double vaxxed, people went out to do one thing or the other and then wouldn't do the rest. It was all over the place. We've had petrol shortage, food shortage. We've had we've actually entered into shops in the West, especially in the UK, and there's no bread, no vegetables, no this, no that. We've had we're under the sword of Damocles, a sort of not sure what our situation is. Are we going under lockdown? Are we not going under lockdown? Are we fine? Is everything fine? The next thing you hear, there's a new variant. The variant is now coming from Africa, as if we created the variant. People, whatever you do, this virus, in whatever form, did not originate from Africa.
Thank
So
you.
whoever is out there who's trying to pin it on us, please, we bath twice a day. Never mind washing your hands. Africans, you see us like that, we are very clean. In our poverty, we are clean. So if this virus is afraid of soap and water, that's why it's okay. We will survive. Yes. In the meantime, while all this has been going on with all the uncertainties, we have talked about domestic violence in its different forms, financial violence, mental violence. Everything is violence. Once it is something that is trauma filled, it's something that affects you in a negative way, is violence. We've talked about it. We've thrashed it out. We've talked about marriage in its different forms. Kiki's Chat has met an inventor. We've talked to a woman film producer. Her film is All I Ever Wanted, and it was launched 2 weeks ago. It was on a red carpet in a beautiful place. People went, and it was nice. We've had book reviews. We've had a very lovely lady came on to talk about her book called The Beauty of a Woman's Heart, by Yatobra. She has written a series of other books, but that was the one that I reviewed. I read bits of it. I think it is good. If you're in a marriage, especially in a Christian marriage, you really should try and read that book. We've also spoken to Queen Najah. Now, Queen Najah was talking about the future of the African woman in Africa, and in fact, in the world, how the African woman should present herself and how she should live her life, basically to the fulfillment of her life. Now, I had a lady called Akosia Bami who came to talk about how to build the Africa that we want. And the book was called Mindset Revolution. So it is a revolution of the mind, and we should change our mindset, and we will have the Africa that we want, and we don't have to come to the West. And people will not have to go on boats to come to the West just, to kill themselves, etc. So these are things. We had a lady called Gina who was a housemaid in Saudi Arabia. So she came on and she talked about all the suffering that she went through, the trials and tribulations of a housemaid in Saudi Arabia. That was really tough. That was a bit tearful. It got people quite emotional. We also had a lawyer come to talk to us about stolen lands in Ghana, how people are stealing people's lands. If you buy land, even if you put a wall around it and you move away from it, somebody else will go and start building on it because they know that you're not around. And this happens to a lot of people in the Western world because they're concerned. They go and buy land thinking this is going to be my retirement home or something, or they have been left this land and they are here, so they want, whatever. And we talked at length about it. People called him, some people didn't like his advice and spoke about it. Whatever it is, we talk about it here. We talked about the woman's self worth, how a woman should project herself, self worth. But this is something that we will continually talk about day in and day out until the time where it is not necessary to talk about it anymore. A woman's health, self wealth, safety for the woman, building a woman back into the working world if she is being at home. Maybe she has been a housewife. Maybe she has been a mother of young children and therefore she had to be at home. We've talked about how she can get back into the world of work. We've talked about the value of women. We've talked about we the whole of 2021 we have talked about all the positives to help a woman, and we have thrashed out the negatives that the woman should try and discard and remove from her life. Yes, we have done a lot, and now we're coming towards the end of the year. We're in December. Today is the 8th day in December. So in a few days, it will be Christmas. When I say days, 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time, it will be Christmas. And then a week after that, we're steadily moving into the new year. We pray that God helps us all enter into that new year, all together, all of us together. Now, my guest today is, her name is Namele Asante-Armar, but I call her Angela sometimes. I forget, and then I call her Angela sometimes because that's what I knew before. And this lady had a dream. She had a dream and she is working on her dream, and that is the crux of our discussion today. She is a lawyer, a life coach, a dedicated mother, and she always had a dream to become the president of her beloved country, Ghana. Angela is on her way, and we're going to be discussing what she has gone through so far, where she is at, what more she has to do. And we want more women to get interested in what Angela is doing. Now, you all know that Barbados has become independent. Now, Barbados independence has been under the cover of a woman. This woman has been strong. When she goes to the UN to speak, she doesn't take any prisoners. She says it like it is. This Bajan lady has got all of my respect. I've watched her, listened to her. She's talked about the coronavirus. She's talked about the vaccine distribution. She doesn't mince her words. She talks about how the West don't care about the Caribbean islands, but she's talking about her country, Barbados. And here we are. We also are at the point, the cusp of putting all our hopes on Namele so that she too comes over and does something for Ghana. So immediately, without wasting words or mincing anything, Namele, good evening.
Good evening, Auntie Kiki. Thank you for having me back.
It's a pleasure. It's a very big pleasure. Now, normally we talk about things, but today we're going to talk about you. I want you, and the reason why we want to talk about you is to see where you're at. And if there are other women also who are interested in joining you, and because every woman needs an army. Every woman needs people behind her. That's the only way it works. Kwame Nkrumah even had women behind him, Makola women. Nadede Ashikinshala and all those people were there helping him along to be able to gain this independence and make Ghana Ghana. So this is your dream. Tell me about it. Let's start from, we're not going to take a long time with the beginning, but just give us a little bit about how you decided this is what you wanted to do, and then let's pick it up from there.
Okay, thank you very much. I I think it started with first having a dream really to relocate or reconnect with the motherland. UK born Ghanaian, as you can hear from the accent. And back in 2016, I started thinking that, okay, at some point I want to do some work, give some contribution to helping, rebuild, restore, uplift the motherland generally, and then my motherland, Ghana, my country of origin, and had done a number of things back in the UK, various marches and what have you. So fast forward, I was on my own journey, going through my own storms, which led me to start working with women in the context of coaching. So for myself, I had been on a journey where I needed to get to know myself. Um, I had got to a point where my marriage failed. I got divorced, and I was rediscovering what my purpose was. And through there, that led me on to wanting to work with other women, and even if a few steps behind me, helping them to see that there's things that we can do. So this was before the big vision of what am I going to do? Because even though I had a desire to go home to do something, I didn't know what that was. So through continuing to work with these women, I was still practicing as a lawyer at the time also, and it wasn't until 2018 where I literally had a dream. Like I literally went to sleep, had a dream, and the short version is I would say my foremothers came to me, as in, well, my mother, her mother, and a whole load of other mothers. And we were all there, and we were metaphorically getting rid of our wounds, our pains, our traumas, and then rejoicing that, okay, that's done now. Now we can live life free as we should. And what I took from that was the message to go home. But still, I didn't know what that meant. As in, I didn't know, okay, so if I go home, what am I supposed to be doing? So it wasn't until the next year now, 2019, where I, again, continuing on the journey of coaching women. And if you like, I had heard of a message that was doing the rounds in Ghana. I was approached by someone who was speaking about the work that a young gentleman, actually, that had been doing in Ghana, um, and that from that was finding out about this message, which literally was all about how we help the mothers, the mother figures, the women return to their position, if you like, of grace, of power. And that really resonated with me. And so literally I was invited to come home, and you get the message. Why don't you be the one to come home and champion this message that we need to help the mothers and the mother figures to be uplifted, to restore themselves, because everything we've referred to is mother, Mother Ghana, Mother Africa, the motherland, Mother Earth, and we need that. and you know, but I'll say for the purpose of your viewers, that in Ghana we have this proverb that if you educate a man, you educate an individual. If you educate a woman, you educate a nation. And so by simple math, the more women you empower, the more women you ensure that they're doing okay, everyone around them will do okay. So that was the time when I thought, okay, I have clarity now. My ancestors have spoken. I know what I want to do. I'm going to go home and I'm going to contest to become the president of the country, because the country needs some mother loving. It needs some nurturing in only a way a mother or a mother figure, a woman, can do. So that was the short version of how I got to this ambition of going there. It wasn't a childhood dream, but once it formulated how it did, things moved very quickly. So 2019, I announced that, hey, everybody, I'm leaving the UK and I'm going to relocate to Ghana. I think that was on I want to say the 27th of September. And then the 10th of September 2020, I touched down in Ghana with my children. I'm here. And now it was to start the work of what I said I was going to be doing.
Wow.
I pause here in case you want to ask me anything or any more details you need.
So how did the children feel though, as you were all this, it looked like, you're moving terra firma, you're going into another country, you're going to live there, this is our new life. Were they excited? Were they anxious? How did it go for them?
That was the easiest part, because my children, even though their father and I were separated by then, we were still making sure that they were going to Ghana. So one Christmas he would take them, another Christmas I would take them. So, and every time they come back, mommy, when are we moving? When are we moving? So I didn't have to sell them. I didn't have to sell them that one. And it was only when I was sure that, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I said, this is what I'm planning to do. What you think? Oh, it was party, rejoicing. So I didn't have to, that was the easiest sell. I always say I was the one who was late to the party, because we had wanted to ensure that our children have some exposure to and spend some time growing up in Ghana. So that wasn't difficult.
Okay. So when you arrived in Ghana, you see, when you go to Ghana for a holiday, you're in holiday mode, so the enjoyment is different. That I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I always, my brother always says he next time I'll come to Ghana, he's going to stop me at the border, because this looking forward to the enjoyment sometimes is too much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, going to Ghana for me is pure enjoyment. I know where there will be party, I know where there will be food, I know where I'm doing this, that, and the other. However, if you are now going to Ghana seriously with a plan,
Mm-hmm.
and you are not, it's not a holiday, how do you start your whole how do you start the plan? Because living in Ghana, even for people who are prepared, who have built a house, who have got, there's always this edge to just turn around and come back.
So the preparation started before I left. Preparation started spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And so, of course, there are things that I did not know, I could not know, because at that time, as an adult, the longest period of time I'd spent in the country was 2 months. And
Mhm.
for the boys, I think the longest time they'd spent there was 2 months, very young. So the preparation started with some practical things, speaking to people who had gone, going to events, and knowing
Mhm.
that there was a lot that I should go with the expectation that I'm not going to know anything,
Yeah.
going with humility and not expecting to arrive there and say, okay, I know what I'm going to do. So what I had learned in my journey is that focus on everything for the next step, and the next step was going to Ghana. And then from when I get there, I have to reassess, now what do I do? So that's what I did. I didn't go with any expectations of, okay, I arrive in September and then necessarily October, I'm going to do this, because I didn't know how things were going to look once I arrived.
Mm.
So once I arrived, and a lot of what this last 15 months has been about
Mhm.
is allowing myself to have the experience of being there. Very simply, it is, okay, I'm on the ground now. There's the things I've seen in the media, the things that people have told me. Now I am here and I can see for myself. I speak to the people, I look, I ask questions. What is this really about compared to what I thought it was about? So that really has been the journey, taking things as it comes. It may sound very simple, but for me, it was important that I needed to be able to speak with authenticity,
Mm.
so I'm not taking things from people and giving lip service. It's like, I'm here. The thing you're telling me, yes, I understand because I've seen it or I experienced it. That's a lot of what this first year and a bit has been about.
It's learning, like a learning curve. You're learning, you're joining in, you're trying to be part of the system by force.
Absolutely. And being affected, in different ways, like everybody else. When the news, usually you hear the news somewhere else, and you think, oh, well, this is not good. But then when you're there on the ground and they
Yeah.
announce that they're going to levy 1.75 on your financial transactions or whatever, and you think, okay, so next time I pick up my phone to send this, it's real.
Yeah. That is something. In fact, I don't understand it. So, do you understand what's happening with the sending of money by phone? Does that then mean that if I send you money, they
Hmm.
will take some off, or
Yes.
what?
So
What is the levy
yes.
about?
Yes. So in for your viewers, with in Ghana, we do a lot of transactions via phone. I mean, here we would have online banking, but this
Yeah,
is literally just done through the phone. It's not even an app. It's like if you like, simple text messaging where you have mobile money, Momo.
yeah,
So I could send you, 100 cities or something, literally by sending your number, entering a few digits, and it comes to you. And now it deducts an amount from
yeah.
that. So you get less. You get less than you originally did.
There is a way around that. I was thinking about it this morning. It was very convenient to
Mhm.
send money through the phone. It's very easy. If I need to send something to my cousin, my whoever, you just send them money straight away. But
Mhm.
if they're going to behave like this, then we go back to the old system. When your friend is going to Ghana, say, please, can you take this money and give it to my brother at the airport? End of story. Because this is ridiculous, in my view.
Mm. Yes, 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 yes. And other things like not that it affects me directly, but they recently closed the tolls where we used to have the toll gates on the motorways for some of the roads, and you'd have people there collecting the tolls, like for the maintenance of roads, and they stopped that. I don't know if it's supposed to be permanent or temporary, but you think, okay, so they've stopped these jobs, these people, so the people who were there doing the job, they're no more. So I assume they're not getting paid. And then what used to happen was the traffic would obviously slow down to go through these toll gates. And whilst they're paying the money, then you have the street sellers that could come and sell their wares to the people waiting to go through the tolls. And
Yeah.
now nobody has to stop. The traffic goes, so there are not there's nobody there earning money. And then the street sellers, they're not earning money anymore because the traffic's not stopping.
Yeah, we need to find a way for the street sellers to make their money. I think that the toll collecting, they collect this toll, they've been collecting it since I was a child, and I'm now a full grown mosquito. And the roads just around there are potholes. What do
Mm,
they collect the money for? Or is it that the money goes into the pockets of the people collecting the toll? I mean, where does the money go? What is the money for? So that is something which it didn't bother me too much. But my concern really is for the ladies who they're single mothers. Sometimes, they this is their living, this is their
mhm.
job,
Yes.
Now they have to find somewhere else to go, and where would they go, etc. So
Yes.
those are the things, but we really have to find ways whenever these decisions are made, and I think you have to write that down somewhere. Whenever decisions are made, you have to think of the whole, where the tall guys are going to work, or if they're going to be assimilated in some other jobs, and where the women who make a living out there,
Mm.
what's going to happen to them.
Or
Oh,
indeed.
yeah, I've got a question for you though, and it's,
Hmm.
have you got any regrets so far in this 15 months that you've been there?
Hmm.
Regrets? Are you getting used to the system? Is the system confusing you now, or are you still determined to give it a shot?
Oh, the determination grows by the day.
Oh,
The fact that I'm there and I'm seeing what's going on, because now I share firsthand the frustration of the people that are there. I'm there as well, so that one is just gives me more incentive, um, more motivation, if you like, because things they really cannot continue as they are,
hmm,
and my concern is that we have a very young population. Last time I checked or I heard, 50% of the population of Ghana is an average age of 15 years old or younger. And so for me, the way I reason,
hmm,
oh, the children are the future. You want to leave things to the children. How, first of all, you've got this young, very young population, but how well can the children do if the people who have primary care and primary responsibility for them, aka the mothers and mother figures, aka the women, they're not in a very good state either. So for me, it's like double the concern. And then we have the issue if you have a very young population again. And some of the frustration for me on the one hand is that, we are a people, we believe very much in tradition, culture, heritage.
hmm.
And for me, what I don't see is the space for the young people to present themselves and have their views heard. Yet they're the ones who are eventually supposed to lead. And when they're ready to lead, the elders are not going to be there anymore. So, how are we going to change a situation if we're only ever living in the shadows of those that went before us?
Well, I don't know how to answer. I mean, I can try and answer your question,
It's not a
although
question for you. It's the thing that really.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, the problem with us is that we are the problem with our tradition and culture, as you said, is that we're bullies. The older ones, you dare not say this, you dare not say that. You're always quiet. You don't speak. You don't blah 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 blah. But that doesn't mean that the younger generation that are coming up are following those rules. They're
Sure.
just ignored, and they're unemployed, and they are in situations where they're not even, I don't know how to express it, but they are not at the point where they can make any difference or any moves anyway, because there is no, um I'm looking for a word. There is no actual, um there are no chances for them. There is
The
no
opportunities.
opportunity. There is
Mhm.
no opportunity. And therefore, these people are, meandering through, and it's all a struggle. And we don't know where we're going, but we're going. And, even the older people, they are a little bit disillusioned and jaded. And so, they have no power, and things are not
Mm,
going well.
that said, yeah, that said, there is a there are things bubbling under the surface. The,
Mm-hmm.
the, the young people, yes, they may not have the opportunity, but and it may not be perfect, but they're not taking things lying down. You know, the Fix the Country movement being one thing. You may not say it's perfect or anything like that, but for me, wow, you know, coming from the perspective where the attitude very much is, oh no, you don't make trouble for people, just leave it. And then so for me to see this, that, oh no, they're not just leaving it, it may not be the best organized, what have you, but they're making their voices heard. You know, for me, it says that whatever happens, they're not just going to take it. So even that little thing, it does give me some, you know, it does give me some hope. The opportunity, yeah, we have to help them create that opportunity. Absolutely. So the thing is, things will change. They will change. But how do we want them to change positively or negatively? Because the change is an inevitable.
How are you going to marry the change that is coming with your presidential aspirations? Because I can see that you are reading what's happening with the young people, you
Mm.
are assessing it, you are understanding it or trying to understand it. How do you come in? Because with a lot of people, and I'm asking this question only because what I know is a lot
Mm.
of people, when they go into a country, it's your country anyway, and you want to you join a political party. The political parties are there already. So you
Mm.
join one. And then from there, you try and start to, I don't know, work your way through the ranks. So some people, it takes them 30 years. Some people, it takes them, I don't know. However, you have not joined any political party. So how are you going to do?
I have to start from scratch. Unless somebody arises, somebody comes out of the woodwork that aligns with what I feel is needed right now, not because I say so, but because what is being called for, then at the moment, no, I'm not going to join. And I know that sounds ambitious, maybe presumptuous. I'm not saying it for you, not for you. I'm putting it out there. Um,
Okay.
because if I was looking at someone else, but it would have to be not me, because I'm very open to the strange and the unusual and the possibility of everything. Otherwise, I wouldn't have opened my mouth to say yes. I'm relocating to Ghana and I'm going to contest to become president. So the direct answer to your question, how to marry it, is what am I complaining about? Partly I'm complaining about the young people not being listened to. Well, is to speak to them. But number one is to speak to and join with my sisters. A lot of what I've been doing with in this first year, 15 months, is hanging out with my sisters, is getting to know the other women, to what is their life like, what is it really, you know, what are the things that really grate them, you know, what are the things that really impact them, what can we do on a very basic, simple level, to make the smallest bit of difference, and doing it at that level, if you like, the bottom up rather than the top down, because
They
it seems
call
that,
in Ghana,
sorry.
they call it in Ghana, they call it grassroots.
Exactly. That way round.
Mhm.
There's many more of them. And yeah, there's many more of them. And so not only is it, yes, for me to get to know them, that's also me acclimatizing, because as much as, remember, I was born and bred in the UK. But I've learned that when you relocate, I think to anywhere, but definitely going home, you must go with humility. There's things, like I said, I would have been fed by the press, the media, but now I'm going to find out the real deal on the ground. So I listen and I ask questions.
Mm.
So any stereotypes, any, maybe, you know, any perceptions that I have, the first thing I want to know is there any truth in them? What's the real deal? So I listen.
Very.
Um, so I feel that I have something to go and impart, yes, but I'm also going to restore myself. I'm going to reconnect with my heritage. So for me, it's a reciprocal piece of work, if I can say, or a reciprocal mission, you know, that I'm on. I'm building up myself. I'm getting to know the people and the land. so that when I step up, I can actually say, yes, I know what you're talking about because I've been there, or I've been amongst the people who have been there, and I'm not reading from a book, and this is my lived experience. So now ask me.
Okay. So as is your lived in experience, or you're creating a lived in experience and you're meeting people and going on about it, when is the election? When is it the next election that you're going to stand,
Yes.
or and do you know where you're going to stand? Have you do you know the area and how you're going to be standing for, or what is the process? Have you checked the process, the procedure, and are you ready?
So the readiness is what's happening now. It's been happening for this first year. The elections, because the elections are December 2024. So
Okay.
just over 3 years away.
Okay.
And what I would say is that my involvement and my preparation and my readiness is not going to be like anybody else's, because I'm not like anybody else who at least has come out now that is going to contest. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, yes, it's like this for now and it's like that for now, because literally I am walking one step at a time. And that's the only reason I've been able to get to this point. Remember, I don't have a party, and as it stands now, I intend to form my own. I'm open, things can change. Things can change. If by some miracle there is somebody out there that aligns with the message, not about me, is about the message. The message being that once the mothers and the mother figures, the people who look after the homes, whether they once they are in a much better position, so will the country be. And I call out to my sisters that now it's our time to look after the country the same way we look after our homes. And people can laugh, and it's like, but me, I don't believe in coincidence. So when you look in the world and you look at the kind of roles that we, the mothers and mother figures, the women do, it's not a coincidence that we dominate administration. Is it not an administration that technically runs the country? That is us. It's just that we now have a view of politics that, yes, where it is now, because there are not many of us in it, it is dirty, it is tough, and lots of other names that I might not use for now. But what I'm saying to you is that each and every stage of my journey to the presidency is not mapped out right now. And I say that confidently because
Mm-hmm.
the steps that I've taken to get here so far,
Mm-hmm.
people would not have believed me had I said it then. They've not been straightforward. Looking back, I can say, okay, yes, I took this step and that led me here and then that led me here. But for me, it's actually, yes, of course I have a high level vision. I'm going to contest. I know that what that looks like, but I'm not going to say it's going to be like this, because remember, the way that I operate is I get to the next stage, and then from that point I assess, because think the vantage point, the viewpoint can look very different.
At a certain step,
Yes.
as you go up the step, as a certain step, the whole scenario can change. I've got a
Mm-hmm.
question, and it is: are the women or people
Mm-hmm.
receptive to your ideas and vision? Because we tend to look at people from the diaspora as too known.
Mm-hmm.
How can both sides collaborate in a more productive manner? So, when
Two
you
questions.
leave this country, a lot of the people from the diaspora ask this question, it has been stated. You
Mm-hmm.
go to Ghana and you say, "Oh, I can do this," and "Oh, I can." "Oh, why isn't this?" and etc., etc. So, as you said, you yourself said that you have gone there in humility and you're humble and you're trying to mix with the people, eat with the people, do everything with the people. So, are they picking up on your message, on your picture, the picture that you want to give? You want to empower them, isn't
Mm-hmm.
it?
I want to help them empower themselves. And the beauty in what I'm doing is that this is not my message. It's something that I resonate with. And I was thinking, this message comes from the people themselves in
Hmm.
certain areas. So I didn't say, hey, hey, I've got this fantastic message and I'm coming from the UK, what you must do. No, the message was there. The message was being spoken. And it so happens that it aligns with me. And I'm saying, oh, okay, I will step up and I will carry this message and see that we can get it out to other places. So I don't actually take credit for the message because it's not actually novel. I mean, we even have a proverb, but somehow it may seem to have been buried somewhere, So from that perspective, no, I'm not the savior. I don't profess to be the savior coming from the diaspora to go home to help, No, that's not it at all. The land, if you like, and the people, at least in areas, are calling for something. And I'm the one saying that, okay, I will take this and run with this. Sisters, who's going to run with me?
This is very exciting for the Ghanaian public because I personally think that Ghanaian women are the most hardworking, the most, they do everything. A Ghanaian woman does everything. I was reading uh, Facebook the other day, and someone asked a question that if a man works 9 to 5 and gets home around 6, and the woman works up till 8 and gets home by 9, who makes the dinner? And the majority of the Ghanaian women on that page said they would have to come and make the dinner. Or one of the smart ass ones said, oh, she cooks everything and she has a very big fridge and she packs it all in. So when she gets home, she heats it and then they all eat. And I'm like, what? So isn't this man going to even, she said, another woman said, oh, even if I got home at midnight, he'll wait for me to come and cook. Okay, the issue I'm talking about is not the fact that they're cooking. The issue is the fact that the woman is working till she drops dead. And these women can help themselves by joining your party. Do you not think so?
Absolutely. Joining my party, helping each other, because the thing that I find and what we struggle a lot with is we're separated. Everybody, not everybody, but largely everyone is very hardworking. They have their own families to look after.
Mm.
We as the women, we are the natural nation builders. We are the natural nation community builders. Yet, because now we work so hard, working how many jobs, and the men are working as well, but we never get to leave the work of the home behind. If we're working, that's an add-on. We never get to leave that work behind. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is that sometimes I think we look out. We do need help. Sometimes we say we need help from the men. Actually, we need help from each other. If we could help each other, whether it's schooling our children, whether it's let me help this one, she can go out to work, but then she can have a rest, then she can help me. I think
Are you talking about women helping women? Or are
yes,
you talking about couples helping each other? I don't get it.
I mentioned both, but what I'm saying is that sometimes, yes, there must be give and take within a relationship. Ooh. But I'm saying that I don't think that we as women help each other enough, because sometimes there is an expectation that, well, yes, if there is a husband or a partner, he's there and he must take up the slack. I am not saying that he must not. What I am saying is that I think that we don't actually help each other enough. There are things that we can do amongst each other that we get, and sometimes we're spending a lot of energy trying to convince other people that, well, okay, they should do it, but actually if you just phoned up a girlfriend or something, we could arrange that. So I'm saying that there's different ways in which we can assist each other, but I'm not giving the men a pass for the things that they need to do.
I think that it's going to be very difficult in the society that you're in to make this because women don't, it's not automatic that women enter into other women's homes, or it's just not going to work.
It's not
The,
even about it's not even about entering into people's homes. Um, Yes, maybe there's things in the homes, but I'm talking about the communication. The communication. How do we really support each other? You know, I think that we are in a system where we are guided a lot by the what the West has taught us. And yes, you as the family, you must do that. And we forget that we have the proverb: it takes a village to raise a child. I say it just takes a village. It takes a village to everyone put their hands to the pump and help each other out. And I say, I know I'm in Ghana, you know, but I'm saying we've adapted some of that Western mentality where you have these nucleus, just you do this, you do that, and forget that. No, you can call in people and it's okay. It doesn't mean that you're not being a good wife. You know, you failed at something. That is what it means. The village is supposed to help. But the pressure is so much, people are struggling that if they even have the time, would they think, oh, let me ask this person? No, I don't want to bother them because they have their own issues to deal with. So I'm saying there's more that we can do than we realize. That aside, the structures. I'm going to go off camera very quickly because I need to get my charger.
Right. She's gone off camera, but I meant to ask her if she's got a manifesto, and if there is a manifesto, and if the manifesto is working its way into creating this kind of, because this is a, I also need to ask her if this party is just a women's party, or if there are men allowed to join, and if the men are allowed to join, will they be able to also treat them with glass ceiling kind of thing, where they get to a point and they can't climb any further and it's only women who are climbing? Is it that sort of party? Because if it is, then I'll join. So yeah, we I don't know if she's gonna come back, because I'm nearly done anyway. The time is upon us. It has been an interesting learning curve for me and my listeners as well, because for somebody to move from one country to the other, a country where she didn't grow up in, and she's determined that this is what she's going to do. Wow. Um, okay, I'm being told that men are also involved in the party, but are men going to also be vying for positions in this party? Mr. Francis, are you there? And what's the answer to that? Because I'm quite keen to know where men are going to go. I want the women to be doing better than the men. I think my time is up. I think that um, my guest's phone just died. And so we can't continue this interview, but we can have it another time. We can continue another time. If you have any questions, my guests, my listeners, you can put the questions in the comment section so that I can ask her the next time she comes on. Thank you all for listening, and I think it was a good interview. I think that it was really good, because this is the sort of determination that we need in our countries. And this is the sort of determination that we need to break certain molds. Some of these molds must be broken for us to be able to live in our country and feel that there is progress for the individual. And as she used the word grassroots, this with the grassroots needs to be part of what's going on. And we need to feel that in Ghana, we are part of the system. I also wanted to ask about the Nigerians and the way every time you go on YouTube, there are Nigerians talking about Ghana, eating our food, coming into Ghana freely and all of that, do we have space for these people? It's a question that someone wanted me to ask, and I want to ask it. I also want to know. This is not, yes, I guess my listener wants to know, but I want to know as well. Do we have space for these people? I mean, what is going on? Why that need for Ghana? Why is Ghana on every Nigerian man's lips and woman as well? And why are they there? What's happening? There's a pandemic on, and people are trying to rebuild and we've got all these people. Are we making money out of this? Are we benefiting from these guests? If we are, then it means we're getting a lot of visitors and tourists, and that's good. But if they're coming to stay, or if they, what is that? What's going on? So we must talk about this. Anyone who's listening now, if you want to talk about it, let me know. But we need to talk about it. So, people, thank you for listening. Thank you so much for joining in. And until the next time, bye bye. Be well.